Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
This is Bill Goodwin, speaking for Lever Brothers, makers of Swan, the new white floating soap that's pure as fine Castiles. Well, it's Tuesday night again, time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen. We're broadcasting from the Naval Air Station on Terminal Island, California. And our guest is the lovely Ida Lupino, with Jimmy Cash, Felix Mills and his orchestra, and the Swantet. And now, meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Before we join the Burnses, let's look in at one of Hollywood's great motion picture studios, where a producer is discussing his new picture with the beautiful and talented star, Ida Lupino.
I'm sorry, Mr. Atchison, but I just won't play the part.
But it's a perfect part for you, Ida. A psychopathic killer who murders her husband.
That's just the point. I've been a mad murderess in my last 3 pictures. People are starting to believe I really am one. Why, when I walk down the street, everybody yells, "Run for your lives, Lupino's loose again."
Oh, but listen, Ida.
Why, yesterday I stopped my car to give 3 kids a lift. When they saw it was me, they ran screaming.
Well, you know how children are.
These were sailors.
Oh.
When sailors run from me, things are really tough. Well, look, isn't there some other part in this picture I could play?
No, the only other woman is a scatterbrained little housewife, a sort of, Gracie Allen.
Well, I'd love to try that. Oh, no, I really would. Suppose I go over to Gracie Allen's house and watch her for a while. Then I could play a dizzy housewife perfectly.
Well, are you sure Gracie's as dizzy in real life as she is on the air?
She married George Burns, didn't she?
Uh-oh. Well, there goes my argument.
George.
What?
You want to know something? You're my great, big, strong, handsome dream lover.
What brought that on?
Just love, dear. We're so different, you and I. I'm like a shy, timid gazelle, and you're like a big, powerful gorilla.
Thanks very much.
Every day I love you a little more. Do you love me?
Oh, sure.
Well, let me hear you say it then.
I love you.
Oh, no. Say it nice.
Oh, Gracie.
Say it nice, George.
I love you, sweetheart.
That's my little sugar face. I could never get angry at you, no matter what you did, darling.
Good.
Could you get angry at me no matter what I did?
No.
You're sweet. Anyway, we can easily get along without it for a few days.
Without what?
The car. I smashed it up this afternoon.
You smashed up the car?
Kinda.
What do you mean, kinda?
You know, kinda completely.
Gracie,
Well, George, it wasn't my fault, honestly. This other car was parked at the curb with nobody in it, and I didn't see it until it ran into me.
A parked car with nobody in it ran into you?
Yes.
Any telephone poles crossing the street at the time?
George.
Look, Gracie, how many times have I told you that I...
Coming.
Hello, Gracie.
Well, Ida Lupino, come right in.
Thank you.
Oh, do you know my husband?
Why, yes, I saw your husband at a party a few months ago.
Oh, sure, I remember. You got there just as I started to sing.
Yes. Did anybody stay for the second chorus?
Yes, it was late. They kind of thinned out.
Well, it's so nice to see you, Ida.
Oh, thank you, Gracie. I'm here to ask your help. You see, I'm going to be a housewife, and I thought you might give me a little advice.
Well, I'd be glad to, Ida. George, you better leave the room.
Why?
Well, this is woman talk. Run along now.
Well, okay. I'll go down to the cigar store for a while.
Oh, I'm so thrilled that you're going to be a wife, Ida. And I'm flattered that you came to me to learn the facts.
But Gracie...
Now, we'll start right at the beginning with the birds and the bees.
Birds and the bees?
Yes. Now, there are two kinds of birds. The he-bird, known as the male, and the she-bird, known as the female. Exciting, isn't it?
Very.
Well, now, when the male bird is young, he just whistles for fun. But as he gets older, he begins to whistle at female birds. That is known as mating.
Oh, Gracie, please.
Oh, I know it's embarrassing, but there are things every young girl should know. Now, Ida, after they're married, the male bird brings home food known as worms. And the female sits on their children known as eggs. Well, that's all.
Well, thank you very much. And now,
And now for the bees.
Oh, no.
Yes. There are two kinds of bees. He-bees and she-bees.
You're sure I'm old enough for this?
Well, I hope so. Hundreds of he-bees hang around a she-bee until she picks out the one she wants. That is known as selective service.
Gracie, I hate to say this, but the advice I wanted was a little more advanced.
You mean you already knew about the birds and the bees?
Yes.
My goodness, you sophisticated Hollywood girls.
You see, Gracie, what I want to learn is...
Come in.
Oh, hiya, Gracie. I just dropped by to... Am I glad I did?
Oh, Miss Lupino, this is Mr. Goodwin.
How do you do?
Well, this is a pleasure, Miss Lupino. I've always thought you were the loveliest, the most charming, the most delightful, the most talented...
She's getting married soon, Bill.
Oh. Well, Miss Lupino, please don't tell Mr. Ickes what I just said.
Mr. Icky?
Yeah, he hates to see oil wasted.
Bill, Ida came over to get some matrimonial advice. She already knows about the birds and the bees, and now she's ready for the advanced stuff.
Oh, well, I'm your man, Ida. Move over.
Yes. Bill's an authority. He's engaged to several girls. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, first a girl wants to show her husband that she's thoughtful and affectionate. So the minute the ceremony's over, she should grab him around the neck and give him a great big bar of Swan soap.
Soap?
Well, not just soap, Gracie. Swan, the new white floating soap. Now, that shows her husband that she's thoughtful, because Swan is 4 soaps in one. Not only great for his hands and face, but great for dishes and light laundry. And later on for bathing the baby, you know. Swan's a great wartime buy.
But her husband might prefer a kiss.
Oh, well, that comes now, when he carries her across the threshold.
Oh, that's a romantic moment.
Yeah.
Remember when George carried me across the threshold, Bill?
Yeah, well, I helped him carry you.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Gracie, that's a girl's big moment. When her husband carries her across the threshold, she says, "Don't put me down, darling. Carry me right into the kitchen and let's wash the dishes with Swan."
What?
Well, he'll be delighted to find out that his little darling can make quick work of the dishes with Swan's long-lasting suds. And at the same time, never have to worry about rough red dishpanny hands, because Swan is so mild and gentle.
Oh, well, now run along, Bill. Ida and I want to talk.
Well, okay. Goodbye, Miss Lupino. You follow my advice, and your husband will always love you.
If he can see her for the suds.
You'll see her all right. She's very pretty.
Yeah, isn't she?
Yes, sir. Every bit as pretty as the suds. Well, goodbye, girl.
Now, Ida, where were we?
Well, Gracie, before we go any further, let me explain that I'm not actually getting married. I'm just going to be a housewife in the picture.
Oh, I see. And who's going to be your husband?
Probably Charles Boyer.
Oh. Well, I'm glad he's just going to be your husband in a picture.
Why?
Well, imagine George trying to explain the birds and the bees to Charles Boyer.
Our tenor, Jimmy Cash, with Felix Mills in the orchestra, in another top ballad of 43, If You Please. If you please, James.
Did I see moonlight and magnolia trees. Smile again, my darling, if you please. Did I hear music on a warm spring breeze? Speak again, my darling, if you please. Did I feel cool September rain just then? If you please touch my cheek with your hand again. When you are near me, I can dream with ease, and I'm yours, my darling, if you please. If you please touch my cheek with your hand again. When you are near me, I can dream with ease, and I'm yours, my darling, if you please.
Ida Lupino still thinks she can play the part of a scatterbrained housewife in her next picture if she just watches Gracie in action.
You see, Gracie, the housewife I'm going to play in the picture is, well, actually, she's you.
Me?
Yes.
And Charles Boyer is George?
Well, yes.
I knew it. I knew they'd do it. Sooner or later, I knew they'd do it.
Do what?
Well, they made Antony and Cleopatra, Romeo and Juliet, and now George and Gracie.
Gracie.
The three great love affairs of history. And each one of them has an exciting climax for a picture. Cleopatra is bitten by a snake, Juliet drinks poison, and I marry George.
I see the similarity.
Oh, what a picture it'll be.
Now, tell me more about your married life, Gracie. It'll give me some ideas of how to play this part.
Well, now, I think one reason George and I are so happy together is that we have exactly the same likes and dislikes.
Really?
Yes. For example, I like to put my cold feet on his back, and he dislikes it.
I see. The same likes and dislikes.
Yes.
But what I really want to know is how you handle George.
Oh, well, now, the secret of keeping any husband happy is to show him that you appreciate his sense of humor. You know, laugh at all the funny things he says.
Oh, does George say funny things?
Oh, well, didn't you ever see him in vaudeville?
Yes, that's why I asked.
Oh, he's terribly humorous. Honestly, sometimes he... Oh, look. Look, he's coming up the walk now. You just watch, and I'll show you my technique. Hello, dear.
Hello.
Well, say something funny.
Huh?
Oh, that's awfully cute.
Cute?
Oh, adorable. Come on, entertain Ida some more.
How?
Oh, wasn't that clever, Ida? How? That's his imitation of an Indian.
I hate to say this, but I almost missed the point.
Oh, you English people. Oh, but you haven't heard anything yet. He does the funniest imitation of an owl.
Who?
That's it. Isn't it marvelous, Ida?
Girls, I'm going in to read the paper. But before I leave, I've got one that really make you scream. If.
If. Oh, well, sometimes they're even too subtle for me.
Is he always that comical?
Oh, no, sometimes he gets very blue and despondent. And then, of course, I have to cheer him up.
Well, show me how you do that, Gracie.
Well, I've got a better idea. You do it. It'll be wonderful practice for your picture.
Say, it might be a bad.
Well, sure. Just pretend you're me and cheer him up as I would. Say exactly what you think I'd say.
All right.
Yes, I understand, Harry. Thanks for phoning. Goodbye. Oh, hello, Ida. Well, I just had some good news. Gracie smashed up the car today, but the insurance company is taking care of it. Great, huh?
Cheer up, George.
Huh?
Let a smile be your umbrella.
What?
Life is just a bowl of cherries.
Life is a...
Happiness is a thing called Joe.
What are you talking about?
I know you have a silver lining. Just turn yourself inside out.
Do you feel all right?
Ah, smile, George. Remember, it only takes 4 muscles to smile, but you use 12 when you frown.
Ida.
Or you would if you had that many muscles.
Now, wait a minute.
How do you feel now?
When you came in, I felt great.
I knew you'd snap out of it.
You know something? You sound like Gracie.
Oh, thank you, George.
Oh, Ida, that was just magnificent. You were me right to your fingertips. Except, of course, you're prettier.
Oh, Gracie, you shouldn't say that.
I have to. You're my guest.
Well, anyway, thanks to you, Gracie, this is one picture where I won't have to be a psychopathic murderess.
Oh, is there a psychopathic murderess in the picture?
Yes.
What a perfect part for me.
You?
Sure. They're always beautiful, seductive women who wear slinky clothes. All I need is the slinky clothes.
Gracie, you could never make anyone believe you're a murderer.
Oh, no. Well, you just watch this. I'll pretend this glass of water is poison, and I'll go in and get George to drink it.
But Gracie...
Gracie, what's the matter with that Ida Lupino? She acts like she's crazy.
Really?
What was that?
Here, drink this water.
Thanks. I think I need it. There. You want the rest of it?
No, I'm too young to die.
To die? What's funny?
That water you drank was full of arsenic.
Arsenic?
Yes. I thought it was best that way. And Nax is so messy.
You put arsenic in my water?
Why not? It isn't ration.
What is this, anyway?
Well, sweetheart, don't you get it? I'm acting. I'm a psychopathic killer.
Oh, this is murder.
Of course.
Oh, cut it out.
Time again for Felix Mills, his orchestra, and the Swantet in a Mills interpretation of an old favorite, Sweet Rosie O'Grady.
your granny loves me.
You've convinced me. I guess I wouldn't like that part of the murderess.
No, of course you wouldn't, Gracie. That's a pretty gruesome scene where she kills her husband so she can run away with a crooner. You see...
Oh, is there a crooner in the picture?
Yes.
What a perfect part for George.
Oh, Gracie, please not that.
But George has a wonderful voice. You know how a bird sounds.
Yes, but...
Well, when George comes on the screen, you'll really hear the bird.
I can believe that. I've heard George sing.
When? Oh, at that party.
Yes, he sang a medley of Irving Berlin tunes, and by the time he got to All Alone, he was.
Oh, but Ida, have you heard George sing since he had his adenoids taken out?
Yes.
Oh. Well, for the picture, he could have them put back in.
No. I'm sorry, Gracie. I don't think George has the voice for the part.
Well, I'm back. Come on in, Bill.
Okay.
Oh, George. George, wait till you hear the news. Ida's producer is coming by, and we're going to ask him to let you sing in her picture.
Really?
Now, Gracie, I didn't say that.
Well, gee, Miss Lupino, you might at least listen to George. Gosh, he's great. Just give him a chance. That's all I ask.
Thanks, Bill.
Why, George can do Jolson, Cantor, Crosby, all of them. George, do that imitation of Jolson.
Okay.
You know, the one where you go, Swanee, Swanee, how I love you, my dear old swan soap. You're really four soaps in one.
Now, Bill,
Then you do your recitation like Jolson, George. You know, Swan's a new white floating soap, folks. Listen to me, folks. It's a soap for your tub or shower, for bathing the baby, folks. Or doing the dishes or the little old light laundry. Mammy. Isn't he great, Ida?
Bill, if you just...
Now listen to him do his imitation of Ted Lewis, Ida. Go ahead, do that one, George.
Okay.
When my baby bathes with Swan.
Bill.
Why, doctors recommend Swan for bathing the baby. It's pure as fine Castiles, and so mild it's kind even to a little baby's tender skin.
Now, Bill.
And since Swan is so mild, well, it's just swell for your hands and face, your complexion. Is everybody happy?
No, nobody's happy.
Ida, listen, the kid is really great. Just listen to him. George, look, do that Bing Crosby imitation. Well, go ahead.
Well, all right.
You know, the one where you go, boo, break it in two.
Yeah.
Swan breaks in two so you can use half in the bathroom for your hands and face tub or shower, and half in the kitchen for your dishes and light laundry. I surrender, dear. Isn't he great, Ida?
Yes, Bill. Now I'm going to do an imitation of the RAF, and you're going to be Berlin.
Now, take it easy, George. I'm going.
Out. That guy's got a bar of soap where his brains ought to be.
Dear, you go inside and limber up your voice. I'll call you when the producer gets here.
Okay. I'm going to get a paper doll that I could call my own.
Gracie, let's face it, even that sample wasn't any good.
Well, no. Gee, maybe he's getting a cold. He sang like he had a hog in his throat.
Most people say a frog, Gracie, but in this case, I think you're right.
Ida, I have some cough medicine here in the drawer that should cure him. Well, I hope this won't be too weak. It's only 2%.
Only 2%?
Yeah, 2% cough medicine and 98% alcohol.
98% alcohol. Goodness, don't give him too much of it.
Oh, alcohol won't affect George. He never drinks. Ida, pardon me for just a few minutes. Here, George, drink this.
What's that stuff?
Cough medicine.
I don't need any cough medicine.
But, dear, you want your voice to be in tip-top shape when Ida's producer gets here.
Oh, all right, let's have it.
That's a good voice. Drink it all down. Delicious, huh?
That's awful.
Well, you better have one more glass just to be safe.
Hey, that's enough. I haven't got pneumonia.
Here. And don't leave any.
Didn't taste so bad that time. Say, I think I better have a little more. Never mind the glass. Just hand me the bottle.
Here, dear.
Thanks. Awfully nice cough medicine.
How do you feel now, dear? what you said. Are you sure you feel all right?
Better felt never.
Huh?
Never belt fatter. What's the matter? Don't you understand English?
Is your throat all right?
Fine. But I seem to have a little trummic stubble.
Oh, my goodness, what have I done? Oh, my, it's the producer.
Well, fine. Have him come in and produce.
George, you stay here.
Oh, no, I want to sing for the Purdue. Hiya, folks. I came in to sing for Mr. What's your name, Bud?
Atchison, but I hardly think this is the time to sing.
Is that so, Mr. Attitude? Well, I resent your Atchison.
Oh, please excuse him. His throat is a little tight.
Yes. Right down to his ankles.
Quiet, everybody. I'm going to sing. I'm going to get a dape of pal that I could call my own. A pal that other fellas cannot.
Goodbye, Gracie. It's been charming.
Flirty,
Thank
flirty
you,
guys
Ida.
with
We
those
must do this
flirty,
more
flirty
often.
eyes.
Goodbye, Miss Atchison.
Well, have to flute their dollies that are real.
George,
If I
stop.
come home each night.
George,
If I
George,
come home.
stop.
If
Stop.
I...
Stop singing.
Huh?
You can stop now. They've gone.
You mean to say he left?
Yes.
Gracie, I'll tell you a little secret. You know what I think?
What?
I think Mr. Atchison was as drunk as a goat.
Oh, go to
If I come home each night.
Well, you'll hear from George and Gracie again in just a second. Meanwhile, I'd like to remind you that when it comes to taking care of your complexion, nothing can take the place of soap and water. But you've got to make sure the soap you use is mild and gentle. So, you better use Swan. You know that Swan is mild. You know that because doctors recommend Swan for even a baby's tender skin. And you know that Swan is pure, too. Pure as fine Castiles. So why spend a fortune for fancy toilet soaps all wrapped up in fancy packages when you can get pure, mild Swan and get 4 swell soaps in one? The soap for your complexion, for bathing the baby, for your dishes, and your light laundry. Swan, the new white floating soap that's in a class all by itself. Well, here they are again, that famous crooner and his ever-loving wife, Sugar Throat George and Gracie.
Oh, George, guess who's going to be the guest star on our program next week?
Who?
Kay Kaiser. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, well.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. Imagine meeting Kay Kaiser, the man who builds all those ships.
Yeah. You knocked them out in Boogie Woogie Temple.
Yeah.
And now I'd like to take a moment to wish all the luck in the world to Frank Galen, one of my writers who's been with me for 3 years and who goes into the service tomorrow.
All the best, Frank.
The makers of Swan, the new white floating soap, join George and Gracie in inviting you to tune into your Columbia station next week, same time. Our guest, Kay Kaiser. Remember, George Burns and Gracie Allen, CBS next Tuesday night. Tonight's program originated at the Naval Air Station, Terminal Island, California. And our thanks to Captain McGinnis for having us aboard. Insofar as the Navy does not endorse any product, this broadcast does not constitute an endorsement by the Navy Department. Now, till next Tuesday, this is Bill Goodwin saying, well, I, Swan, how about you? Good night.